Hi guys, and welcome to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Drayton Park Golf Club. I'm in my swing studio and today's video is going to be about the putting tempo. So I've got a really great exercise for you guys to do, whether it's in your living room carpet, doing some putting practice throughout the winter or getting onto the putting green to really work on a better tempo to start to make sure that you're rolling the ball with a better pace. So I'm going to be using a putting metronome that I've been given by the Harold Swash Golf School, and this is set at 90 beats per minute. But there have been some tests with the PGA Tour players, and they found that the majority of elite golfers were putting at a tempo of somewhere between 72 and 80 beats per minute. So if you were just using a standard metronome, I would set it somewhere between those 75, 76 beats per minute. And you're trying to change direction each time you hear the noise, the tink, the metronome tick, whatever it might be, whether it's an electronic one or you've got an actual music one. Doesn't matter, it's fine. The benefit of, you can get some really cheap free apps. The benefit of those is you can plug your headphones into it and take it out onto the putting green to do some practice where you're not winding up perhaps all the other golfers. This one's a little bit quicker than that. This is, as I said, at 90 beats per minute. I do like this, especially for me, because I find, if anything, I tend to get a little slow and a little too long on my putts. So it's quite a good practice exercise for me to start to speed it up. So I'm going to go ahead and click and let you guys hear the rhythm on that. Now the key part is, and I've got a few different lengths of putts here, so I've put a ball 4 feet from the hole and then going back in 2 foot intervals, so I've got 6, 8 and 10. Of course I would do it outside on a putting green to a much greater distance. You might hit sort of a 10 foot, 20, 30 or just again like I've done, stagger it where you're going back every 2 feet or so. We're trying to keep the rhythm the same. So effectively, what is happening is we're a little slower on a short putt, and actually as we get into a longer putt, we're having to speed up a little bit. So the time taken for the backswing and the backswing to impact is actually the same, whether it is a 4 foot putt or a 10 foot putt that I've got here. So I'm actually speeding up a little bit on these longer putts. The time period is the same, and that's what that metronome is going to give you if you change direction each time you hear the tick. So I'm going to go ahead, dart out a shot quickly, but I'm going to click on this. I'm hoping you guys will be able to hear it. And I'm just going to pretend I'm striking this sort of middle golf ball here. With this one, this is a slightly different to normal metronome. I want to actually go on the whoa, tink, and I want to try and strike the ball on the tink. So it is whoa, tink. That was pretty good. So if I actually managed to hit the ball before the tink, there's too much acceleration. I've hit the ball quicker than I should have done, and whenever I'm using this with golfers, I find they hit the ball too far. If they were too slow, I really had to try and stop myself there. Didn't want to. If they were too slow, so the tink's actually been, they should have struck the ball, but the putter's still behind it, they're slowing down, they're decelerating, and they'll come up short. So this is a great one to really start to get the speed. So hopefully you can see there, I'm matching my stroke and actually reaching the golf ball. I was a bit early there, actually trying to talk. I obviously can't multitask. Trying to get to the golf ball at the time of that tink. So I start my backswing on the whoa, tink. If you were just using a standard metronome, as I said, you're just going to get a tink, 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 tink. But you're trying to get to, from setup to backswing on the one tink, backswing to impact on the other. I'm not so worried about this part through the ball. It's trying to get back and then back to impact. So it's not measuring this, but I'm not saying I don't want you to stop on impact. There is Definitely because we're accelerating, there should be some follow through length by all means, but I tend to find a lot of golfers try and force their follow through too long. Really for me, the maximum follow through length is where the lead arm is still pretty straight, no matter the length of the putt. I don't want to start seeing that lead elbow moving through, and I get too many golfers concentrating on this part here on the way through. What we're really measuring is the backswing away from the golf ball and the downswing to the golf ball. Let me go ahead and try and roll these 4 golf balls. So we're going to have a practice stroke. So it's going to look like it's a slower action, but the time taken is going to be the same. That was pretty good. And you'll see hopefully with my GoPro, these are going to hopefully be rolling in at roughly the right pace. That felt a little quick, and I actually think I got to the ball slightly quicker than the tink, if I was honest. It was a pretty good positive putt. That was perfect. And I think the pace on that, if that's missing, that's rolling a foot past the hole, which is exactly what we're looking for. Right, 3 in a row. I need to hold this one. So this is my 10-footer. Let's go on the next one. I think I just going to get to the hole. That for me didn't quite have enough pace. It was a little lucky. It died into the hole in its last breath, which does make the hole size a little larger. But backswing was pretty good. I think the tink, the noise beat me to the golf ball. It didn't feel quite as positive. So on that one, I just felt like I needed to actually speed up the through swing a little bit, and it was slightly underweight. It did have just enough pace, but my ideal rolling putt would be going 6 to 12 inches past the hole, so it's got enough pace to hold its line in case there's any imperfections. That was dead weight, and if it is dead weight, it just means if there was any spike marks, imperfections, even a slight imbalance in the golf ball, it could wobble, it could miss. Let me just click to stop on this. So the great thing to do is use that metronome, whether it's inside, ideally then get onto the putting green, hit some different lengths of putts. As I said, the time taken for the backswing and the backswing to the impact is the same, whether it's a 5-foot putt or a 30-foot putt. So we're actually having to sort of speed up effectively on these longer putts. What we're measuring is the backswing to the impact time. This works really well for me. This is set a little bit quicker than I'm suggesting for a lot of golfers. It works quite well for me. I find that my poorer one is probably a little too long and a little bit too slow, so it gets me sort of speeding up a little bit more. So depending on your own putting style, you could tweak that metronome to find what's the right rhythm for yourself. Generally, it's going to be somewhere around 75 beats a minute, but this is a fantastic exercise to really start to get you to roll the ball better. I hope the video's helped. If it has, and you did enjoy the content, give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel as well. I do 3 new videos a week, Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5:30, and all our social media info is coming along the bottom of the screen right now, hopefully for you as well. Thanks guys, we'll see you next time.